Hi, friends and fellow Earth Angels. It's Gladys, and welcome back to another one of my weekly Sunday card readings. And this spread will start by covering January 9th through the 15th, or whenever you're guided to watch, as I always intend these to be timeless readings, meaning whenever this video shows up for you, that is the time that the messages are meant for you. So welcome, Happy New Year. I pray y'all had a happy, healthy, safe New Year, and I can't even believe that I'm already working in the energy of mid-January. So on the 14th of January, Mercury will station and go retrograde. This energy, we can feel the intensity of that this week. Again, Mercury is the planet of communication, travel, and electronics. Here in New England, it never fails that when Mercury is about to go retrograde or during Mercury retrograde, it snows here. So I am recording this in the midst of a snowstorm, and I love when snow falls. It's such, for me, it just feels like a magical time. So I'm going to harness that energy and work with the angels this week. So I feel like we need some really loving, nurturing energy with the intensity of the energies that many may feel. And remember, it's all good. Like that which needs to be dealt with, that which needs to be seen, that which needs to be adjusted, typically comes to surface during these times. We're also in the midst of Venus retrograde, the planet of love, beauty, and finances. So this just giving us some slow time to dot our I's and cross our T's. So what else? I had a great New Year's celebration service where I shared insights and some guidance for 2022. I am going to link that video down in the description box below. So if you're curious about those messages, feel free to check in. It was the first of that, me doing something like that, going live. So I forgot to change the video to make me bigger and all that were online smaller. So it's not the best looking video, but all the messages are there. I'm also going to link in that video. I also linked a copy of the book that I mentioned in the New Year's messages. It was nonviolent communication. Again, with 2022 being around, self-expression and communication and community and family and how we express ourselves to others in this world is very important into how that energy is received. So those of you who are in that energy or work with the 3 vibration in your life path numbers, it's a great book. So anyway, that information, that link is in the description box below. And I'm just going to get going here. So the cards that I'll be using with, the cards that I'll be working with this week will be the Archangel Oracle cards. And then a message of healing will come from the Crystal Angels. And action steps you can take this week to support your healing will come from Angel Therapy. What you're being gifted with this week will come from healing with the angels. And then finally, I'll pull an angel prayers card for an overall message. I really love working with the angels. I always have. They're my favorite. And I'm just really feeling the softness of that energy, especially when we're working with the energy of love and beauty and home and family and healing and nurturing and connection. So I want to share that energy with you. I want to sprinkle that energy in your vibration, especially if you're going through some stuff. All right, so let me open up space. Let me invite in all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the divine mother and father, and all their holy beings of light that would like to assist with this guidance for you today. And I'm going to ask that the messages that come through be for your best and highest good and the best and highest good of all concerned. All right, so let me connect my heart to the heart of the angels in this deck. I'm going to ask what angel wants to work with the EarthAngel Collective this week. What is the most important angel that the EarthAngels can benefit from this week? Let's see here. There we go. All right, let's begin. Oh, Archangel Haniel, this is so perfect. She is the angel of joy. Her card here is about moon cycles. It says, notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations and capital upon these cycles. So currently we are in the new moon in Capricorn. Capricorn is a builder energy. It represents the goat that starts on the bottom and works its way up. So if you are starting something new, if you are creating, creativity is another word and an energy that's going to be amplified this year, with 2022 being a 6 universal year. And so if you are dialed in and working with the divine feminine energy, the moon is a phenomenal vibration to work with because it's set and it's consistent. You know, every couple weeks we get a new moon or a full moon. And so checking in with that, I had mentioned in my New Year's messages video that I am currently taking Yasmin Boland's Moonology certification training. So hopefully sooner than later, I will be a certified moonologist working with the energy of the moon. And it's something I'm drawn to as a quadruple Cancer. So my sun, my moon, my rising, and my Mercury all fall under the sign of Cancer, and Cancer is ruled by the moon. So it was just very fitting for me to start moving in that path. So I've been working with the energy at least for a year and a half, if not 2, personally now. And so I love that Archangel Haniel is coming up and encouraging you to work with the moon energy. So this is a time to manifest, to create, to send out really positive, loving intentions and feelings that you want to call to you, right? It's a magical time. More of this or something even better. And it could be a material thing, or it also could be an energy. I'm always intending of bringing more adventure, play, laughter, fun, and freedom in my life. That is the energy that I really like to work with, and I like to do that through energetic abundance and financial security, right? So that's usually my intentions around these new moons. And when I experience those vibrations, you know, I pause in that energy, you know, and I just tell the divine, bring me more of this in my life or something even better. So again, I feel like Haniel just wants to remind you that we have a really great vibration coming in. Capricorn energy is a planner energy. So this would be a really great time for you to just have like an overview of what you'd like to work on this year. It doesn't necessarily have to be a goal. It doesn't have to necessarily be agenda. It's maybe how you want to feel with releasing attachments to results or expectations that something's going to be a certain way, right? So, you know, my intention, let's say, with many of us, especially as Earth Angels, is financial security, right? So let's say financial abundance, financial security, financial fitness, right? So that may be something like easy that many of us, you know, enjoy on some level, especially if you're making changes in your life, right? That can always be something that comes up. So I can work with the moon energy with savings and how I want to feel. And when you know, I feel, you know, solid and stable in the energy, I'm very mindful, especially when I am paying bills. You know, I am very mindful of the state and the energy I'm in when money is going out. And sometimes fear comes up because a lot goes out in a short amount of time, right? So, you know, the way everything is set up for me, everything happens kind of at the beginning of the month. So there is a little bit of fear that goes in it, but it's very something I'm conscious of, and I'm able to self-soothe through it and amplify that energy where, you know, for, you know, at least 14 years with my business, you know, I've always been able to be self-sufficient and, you know, sustain stability in my life in that energy. So I have to remind myself of that and detach from results and expectations that anything is supposed to be any other way than it is, right? So, this is a great time for you to really be mindful if you want to manifest or call something in of any fears, doubts, worries that may come up in your body, knowing that that's a part of you that may not be on board with, what you're creating or what you're pulling in. So, and again, it's all listening, it's all feeling, it's all connecting. We do have a full moon coming in too, and that full moon is a time to release, to purge, to cleanse, right? So right now, if you're in that, releasing, purging, cleansing mode, you might not be feeling as aligned as if, this time working with the Capricorn energy and the Capricorn new moon, it would be a more creative time for you to set a plan for yourself or just have an idea of how you want to feel by looking at what last year was, right? Last year was the 5. It was the energy of transformation and change. Many people got very clear about what no longer resonated with them, right? So, you can kind of swing back and kind of look at that a little bit and saying, okay, I experienced a lot of this. So what is it that I do want? Okay, more of this in my life or something even better. So Haniel is the angel of joy. When we surrender expectations, when we surrender results, like attachments to results, when we surrender to the should-have-beens, right? When we kind of release that energy, you're able to expand your trust and faith in the divine and be able to create in different ways. It's when we're agenda-based and expectation-based and attached to results, that's where energy can be intense. It can feel uncomfortable. Fear can be activated. So I feel like Haniel is coming in and saying, as you're working with the ebb and flow of the energies that we're in now, the more joy that's activated within you and around you, the more inner peace you feel. So, all right, let's get some more messages on that. So, Haniel, angel of joy, she's assisting you with working with the moon cycles, checking in. Haniel, what message of healing do you have for the earth angels this week? What message of healing do you have for the earth angels this week? Ooh, Malachite, prosperity. Absolutely. There's a positive shift in your flow of divine support. So I have to be honest, Malachite is one of those stones that makes my heart skip a beat a little bit. It is a very intense stone and amplifies your energy. It's a powerful stone. It really is a powerful stone. So if you have Malachite and you're working with new moon intentions, sit with the Malachite energy. Here, I can even put this here if you want to take a screenshot of the energy. But I love how we're working with prosperity and abundance here. And this is all this bluish aqua, color here, which is all connected to the throat chakra. So far, we're working with the throat chakra. Again, with the 6 universal energy, we're talking about self-expression here, creativity. And so when you're working with that energy of the moon, in harmony with really the divine feminine, friends, your intuition, your connection, your feelings, your wisdom, your receptivity, right? This is the energy that the moon energy embraces. And so that is your true power, right? Going within, listening to your body's wisdom. And so I feel like Malachite is supporting your healing this week for prosperity. But it's interesting here. It says there's a positive shift in your flow of divine support. Remember, our income, our finances, our abundance. It could be energetic abundance. It could be feeling really strong and powerful in your body. It could be, your refrigerator filled up with food, your gas tank filled up. It could be you've got an abundance of invitations and support from loved ones. You want to feel that energy in all aspects of your life. And I love that it mentioned the flow of divine support, remembering that our resources, our resources come from the divine. Our resources come, I always say, my money is a blessing and it is a gift from God, right? And then most often, 80% of the time, the money, let's say, that flows to me will go back into local businesses supporting other healers, other teachers, and other businesses that are in alignment with the work that I'm doing for myself, right? So, and I'm also very conscious of the companies that I invest in and the product that I buy from certain places, right? And so I feel when I'm aligned with that energy, the divine support comes to me easily and effortlessly. So if you're in your mind of like, what should I do? I suggest dropping down in your body, right? And saying, how do I feel and what is it that I need, right? And when you do have those glimmers of prosperity, when you do have money coming in, especially when there's so many earth angels right now, but working on growing something. Maybe it's a platform, maybe it's a course, maybe it is a healing business, maybe they're working on growing a family, growing financial security, or even growing in their career, right? You want to feel satiated and supported. So I'm feeling like some of you, this energy this week is going to support you with asking for a raise. And that could be interpreted in many different ways. So if some of you are feeling like you're not being paid what you're worth, you may, as a business owner, need to give yourself a raise. Or, the energy this week, especially because the energy of Capricorn and planning and getting a financial plan, this could be really good, powerful time. Maybe some of you this week are kind of building up that energy to ask for a raise or support in some way. So please know that Haniel is assisting you in that energy. And again, that's just kind of a specific message for, maybe a select few that's out there. But what do you need to ask for more of? Maybe it is support. Maybe it is being receptive to different ways of doing things, right? That in of itself creates prosperity and abundance. But I think the important message is here is being open and receptive to divine support, which is a lot of what my channel teaches, right? And helps you to and supports you to work with that energy, how to call it in, how to harness it, and really feel energetically alive and thriving, right? That's what the divine wants for you. They want you to feel alive and thriving. But I also understand this is a journey. It's a lifelong journey that pathway requires deep healing. It requires us going into those wounds, understanding our history, understanding the essence of who we are, understanding our gifts. And that takes time, friends, right? So I feel like the energy is supporting you in understanding yourself on deeper levels, which activates a deeper sense of self-love, which then in turn assists you in aligning to those things that are a vibrational match to the essence of who you truly are. So beautiful. All right, so next card here is action steps. So that being said, what action steps can you take this week to support your healing? Solar plexus chakra. Absolutely. This is your stomach region. It is the yellow chakra. And the message says it is safe for you to be powerful and take charge of your life in positive ways. So I'm feeling here like just review, reflect upon, especially with this retrograde energy here with Mercury and Venus. It's a really great time for reflection in a non-judgmental, non-shaming, blaming way, right? We want to release the should-have-beens and the self-criticism. And so how can you look at this energy and saying, what do I want to say this? What are you sick of feeling? I guess that is. How or what are you sick of, right? Last year, the beginning of 2021, in 2020, I was eating a lot of Haagen-Dazs ice cream, and I was drinking wine, and I was overloaded with sugar in my body, and I was emotionally full. And I was sick of myself. I was sick of feeling that way. And it was self-destructive, and I was doing it to myself. Even though I was doing some really good healing work, I needed to be honest about the changes that I needed to make for myself. And, what I was putting in my body was having a really big effect on my emotional state. Obviously, we were in a pandemic, and I was isolated, and we were all having these experiences. So long story short, I came into 2021 sick of feeling that way, sick of feeling emotionally full, feeling the highs and lows. And I knew food was a major factor in that. So I came into 2021 committed to no longer feeling that it was acceptable to do that for myself. It was an act of self-love to make the adjustments to release the energy of alcohol and ice cream in my life. And I knew it was going to work with discipline, right? And willpower of myself. But I have to tell you, because I was filled up and fed up, and honestly, it was my own doing, it was really easy to do because I wasn't doing it in a critical way because I felt like there was something wrong with me and that I wasn't good enough. I was doing it out of an act of self-love. I'm no longer going to allow this to have hold over me. This is no longer acceptable in the life that I'm creating for myself, right? This is not going to contribute to the quality of life I'm creating for myself. So it was relatively easy to be able to release it, but it was something I had to be conscious of. So I feel like this solar plexus card is going to assist you, to empower you to release that which is not contributing to the quality of life that you're creating for yourself. It might be an energetic vibration on TV. It may be a personality trait. It may be a food. It may be self-destructive behaviors. Now, it's going to require some self-analysis, but the angels always encourage us to do that in a loving way, right? And you're not going to know until you know. And then when you know, that's when you can shift it, right? So I feel like I do see change on the horizon for many earth angels, but it coming from a much more softer and loving place. So know that working with the solar plexus energy, the energy of the sun, the energy of like your stomach energy, you can also ask yourself and kind of have a navigator, is this going to empower me, or am I feeling powerless to it or over it? And if you're feeling that powerless feeling, you want to pause in that energy and feel it and ask that powerless feeling, what are you teaching me? What do I need to know about this? Where did it come from? And you may have a childhood memory that comes up, a person that comes up. And again, we want to be non-judgmental with this, but we want to understand where the seeds were planted so that we can become more empowered with a proactive approach to our healing, again, in an empowered way. So again, it is safe, absolutely safe for you to be powerful and take charge of your life in positive ways. Again, we want you to be inspired. We want you to feel that pull forward as opposed to the influence. Well, what do the fitness gurus say? And what does the food pyramid say? And, what is the plan that everybody else does? That doesn't always necessarily work for earth angels, especially if it's coming from restriction, because earth angels have a tendency to rebel against restriction. So that being said, you want to approach these adjustments in a different way, a more healthier way, a more nurturing, maternal, healing way. And the Universal 6 energy is supporting you with that this year. So it may be easier for you to be consistent and make those adjustments, even if it's like, you want to get on your bike 10 minutes a day, whether you go on that bike, again, maybe it's an exercise bike. If you're here in New England, let's say I have an exercise bike here. And so if I want to commit to 10 minutes every day, I also understand that 10 minutes might be different times of the day. I might be faster one day, I might be slower the other day, especially because this channel really attracts, the divine feminine energy. That doesn't mean any masculines that are watching, you're here because you are learning to work with your inner feminine energy as well, which I think is incredibly powerful, right? To find that balance of the masculine and feminine. But checking in with how you're feeling, right, and what it is that you need is really important. So if you're approaching something as far as, like, let's say 10 minutes every day, know that many of you may be pulled by the moon cycles, right? Many of you, if you're menstruating, may be pulled by the moon cycles. Depending on where you're in your cycle, you might have more energy or less energy. And, this is not something that's embraced in the 3D world that thrives on productivity, right? So, we have a tendency to force ourselves and push ourselves through things, even when we're not feeling good, even when we're feeling tired and drained, right? So you want to check in. Is this something that I'm putting off and procrastinating on? Or is it something that, my body is just giving me a strong no, right? And the solar plexus will help you and empower you in making those decisions for yourself. And when you're doing things in alignment with how you're feeling right now, this prosperity and this flow of support comes up in your life, right? If any blocks or challenges come up, know that rejection is God's protection, right? It may not be time. I've spent a lot of years on an agenda, friends, on a timeline, on an agenda and expectations, and that contributed to a lot of the emotional instability that I had in my personal life. So, there's a lot of work that I've done in surrendering and releasing and listening to my body and making adjustments and getting real and honest with myself, right? But all in a loving, gentle way. And I feel like a lot of Earth Angels are going to be working with that energy this year, right? It's all about self, the self journey, self-discovery, self-love, self-expression, your creativity, and then you share that with the world in service of others to uplift, inspire, and encourage and empower others, right? You see, so it starts from the inside out, and that relationship with the divine, I cannot stress that enough, is your relationship with whatever that higher power, that connection of love, unconditional love that you work with, that is the true source of, this inner peace and empowerment that so many in this world desire, right? And, many of you who are watching this channel are an example of that. You are the divine personified, and you walk that life and live that lifestyle, right? And so you are the example of unconditional love on this planet. But also remember that you're human. You're 100% soul, 100% human, right? So it's one and the same, and the human experience can be a challenging one, but as you move through it in a loving way, it can actually amplify your energy even more so, to inspire others, right? So we're activating that energy from the inside out. All right, that being said, what are you being gifted with this week? January 9th through the 15th, what are you being gifted with? Oh my gosh. All right, there we go. What are you being gifted with this week? So we have divine guidance. Yes. I just keep seeing internal work. I am wanting so badly to create a course on those words that I've been talking about for the last year: silence, stillness, pause, rest, nothingness, right? And it all requires listening, right? Pause, stillness, silence, rest, nothingness. It requires space to be right here in the present moment, listening. So know that you're being gifted with divine guidance. And for me, divine guidance feels like it comes like from my belly up. Like it comes from my belly up into my heart, and I feel like an inspirational pull forward. If I'm upstairs, if I take the elevator up into my mind, like I literally can feel myself in my head, I know that's not the place I want to be. I know it's part of my ego. I know there's a lot of fear-based thoughts, and I'm searching the past for answers. And there's many philosophies that talk about the past is a graveyard. It's done, and there's no going back. in the future is none of our business. So we want to be here in the present moment, again, activating that divine feminine energy, listening to the wisdom within. So I feel like the divine is gifting you with support this week and divine guidance. So it will require you an adjustment to listening, right? Listening to your body, listening to your heartbeat, and really reflecting on your body, your physical body, in love. That is truly the power, my friends. And, if there's still any disharmony or discord with that, which I think, many of us are challenged in some form or another, that's where the work needs to be, right? Because that's how, I trust my body. I trust the wisdom. I trust the feelings that I have, and again, I'm speaking to those that are predominantly feminine, dominant, feminine based, because that's where your power is. We're activating this heart mind that we have, right? Which means it's going within. So the divine is supporting you this week with divine guidance. And that also may come from numbers. Maybe you're seeing repetitive numbers. Maybe you're seeing animals over and over again. For me, fox has been coming up, and I've had some tricky people in my life that I've had to be mindful of. And fox gifted me with medicine. So when those situations arose, I was grounded and aware. It was kind of like a heads up. So, if these energies are popping up in your life, go to your search engine and just put in whatever that animal is. So I would put like fox, spiritual meaning. And then I would just thank the animal for gifting me with its medicine. Crows have been something that has been predominant in my life the last 6 months or so. And I've been experiencing a lot of endings and some really beautiful new beginnings. So, I just listen to the wisdom of how Mother Nature is speaking with me. So not always, do all the divine guidance come from within. You'll feel like the bird, or you'll feel the animal that pops up in your life, or the repetition of words, or the repetition of, numbers or sayings. Hope has also been coming up for me a lot. And hope for me is like the hope, faith, love, which is the anchor on the cross of Kamag, which is like connected to Mary Magdalene, and it's the anchor. It's the hope part of it, right? So I've been seeing that a lot, and I've been really anchoring my energy in the divine, in spirit. So, remember, this is a soul journey, friends. Soul as in singular, and soul as in higher self, right? Remember, you're not separate from the divine. You are the divine personified. That energy flows through you and works through you and activates energies in the world. So, being able to pause and listen can be something that will empower you. So the second card that you're being gifted with, oh my God, signs. I just did a whole thing on that. I should have just pulled them both. So I don't know if I can say much more about it. So again, this is inner wisdom in pause and reflection. Again, mindful of how your body's feeling. If you're feeling like you're running around, if you're feeling like your time is not your own, if you can look at it and saying, oh, thank you, body, for telling me, or thank you for the heads up if you're feeling anxious. Oh, thank you, body, for teaching me I need to just be aware and slow down. Thank you, body, I'm listening. And being able to, I literally rub my chest. I mean, you may see that. And those of you who have done online readings with me, or you've come into my office, I'm always rubbing my chest in like a self-soothing way, like the throat, heart area. I'm always rubbing that area. I feel like that's my way to self-soothe, and for me to drop my attention down from my head into my body. So you want to pay attention to the repetition of the things that are going on around you. And again, even if you're working on like 5 minutes of meditation every day, or sitting in stillness 5 minutes every day, that can assist you with seeing more of the signs, numbers, letters, words, animals. Again, it's a powerful year for us to expand in that energy. I don't want to say too much, about the 2022 messages, because I did a whole, hour on that. But, this is a year for us to redefine what love means, what home means, what family means, what creativity means, what connection means, what healing means. So we're navigating these energies moving forward in different ways, right? You're paving the path. It's been really exciting to be part of so many of your journeys, and being part of watching your gifts evolve it's been very inspiring. And, I think that's the gift that we have, to be able to connect, to be able to share energy, with each other in the capacity that we do it. So our ancestors in many ways weren't allowed to do that. So it really is a treasure for us to be able to intuitively connect and talk about these things in the free way that we do. Let me see here. All right, so final message. What overall prayer, Haniel, what overall prayer do you want to share with the Earth Angels this week? This can be like an anchor for you this week. If things get, unexpected things happen, or there's a twist or turn of events, what prayer can you always come back to this week? Yep. Take time to breathe. Thank you, angels. I breathe with ease, knowing you're here. I mean, friends, the whole theme of this energy is the divine wanting to know that they're present with you. They're around you. They are encouraging you. They are supporting you. They are loving you, right? And so, if you're intention this year is to connect on a deeper level with the divine. They're showing you, they're coming through signs, through stillness and pause, through divine support, through empowering you to make some changes in your life, to helping you with the cycles and rhythms, the astrology, the moon cycles. It's all there for you, friends. It's information. But if you are getting filled up this week, or if you are getting overwhelmed, if you're feeling the emotional roller coaster coming in, this is your prayer right here. Pause, right? Pause in that energy. Feel it in your body. Give it permission to move, right? We want to get this energy moving and flowing, reminding yourself that you're safe. And again, I breathe with ease, knowing you're here. When you say something like that, you will drop down from your head into your body, into the present moment where the divine is loving you and supporting you. This was such a beautiful reading. I felt it feels very empowering. It feels very exciting. And, we're not meant to walk this path alone. We're not by ourselves. The divine is saying, this is a soul journey, but you don't have to do it feeling like you have to do everything on your own by yourself. That's not the way it was meant to be. And I can tell you that's going to activate a lot of masculine energy and anger and bitterness and resentfulness. And that in of itself is learning, right? So, the universe wants you to be able to walk with love. God, source, creator, wants you to be able to be a beacon of light here on this planet. So, whenever, I'm working with the divine, this internal message that I get when I'm feeling uncomfortable or scared or confused is, how may I serve? What is it that you need? And that's where, I'm able to check in. How can the divine support me? What is it that I need? And a lot of times, it's just encouragement. It's just reassurance that, I'm safe and I'm protected and all is well, right? And usually in those moments, one of my affirmations, like, oh yeah, that's right, with fear and stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Everything works out well for me. What am I worried about? Like in a loving way, oh yeah, that's right. Thank you, body, for showing me this fear. But I also remember everything works out well for me. So let's move forward, right? And, when we're faced with some fears or some experiences that can be overwhelming, it may not be that easy just to say, oh yeah, everything works out well for me. It may require you to take a breath, to pause in stillness, and to be open to universal support. Jesus is my go-to. He is my best friend, my confidant, my master teacher. Jesus is a beacon of light in my life, and I'm very mindful that I'm connecting with that vibration. But Krishna and Buddha and all these high vibrating energies are also the embodiment of this unconditional love. So for me, I call it Jesus, but there are many other vibrations of that divine love. So, make that an intention to connect on deeper levels this year. Surrender what is no longer a vibrational match, old patterns, old belief systems, old ways of doing things, addictions. All you have to do is have a willingness to be able to release it, knowing that it's not going to sustain you. All you have to do is recognize the loop. A lot of times when you recognize the loop, like, oh, I see it keeps coming, and this is what it keeps coming up, and I'm experiencing this over and over again, then you can get into that inquiry of like, oh, how can I move through this differently? What kind of support can I be open to? And that will empower you to want to continue to grow in that energy. All right. Well, let me close space for us. Let me thank all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the Divine Mother and Father, and all their holy beings of light that assisted with this guidance for you this week. Thank you, Archangel Haniel. And I'm going to ask that any healing that was started continue for as long as it needs to be done. So it is. Remember, one or two cards could resonate with you, or the entire spread. Take in the messages that resonate and leave the rest for someone else. If you're interested in making some adjustments and really digging into your healing, I offer many different services, starter services, long ongoing services. I do have a January special going on right now, which I really, I've done a few of them, and they have been so fun, where I combine your numerology in your personal year with angel cards, and it's like an hour session, and I do like a whole spread. I can do that virtually on Zoom, or I can also do it in my office if you're around. They've been super fun and very informational, so that's available if you want to do that. And of course, I'm still working on my schedule, so if you can't find a time that matches your schedule, you can always send me an email and we can make some adjustments on a time that would work for you. All right, friends, thank you so much. Happy New Year. I'm looking forward to what the year brings us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I love you. God loves you so much. Trust in the divine. Trust your intuition. And I send you love with heavenly hugs. Bye for now.